Hey, Khamman. I am Antonio. I am currently at an internet cafe, so it might be a little bit loud in the background. And yeah, so sorry for the late video. I was on holiday with my family on Easter. I hope you've had a great holiday. Awesome. So, assignment 2 is so initially let's just cover the basics. It is a letter. In this letter, you still have to cite, you still have to show your sources, and in this letter, it's essentially like an essay, but instead of trying to inform, you are trying to persuade. Now, there are two key things that you're going to... So before we diagnose what problem you want to look at, let's look at what kind of problems you're targeting. So over here, we've got the multicultural and multi-ethnic issues. And these can be as big as, maybe people of color not getting the same opportunities, or even things like language. And that might even relate to you. So what you could do is message maybe the educational sector of government and say, hey, I think these theories could really help multilingual students. Now, that would be up to you as to what issues you would target with it. What I would highly suggest, is looking at the reading from, I think it was week 4. It'll be a biculturalism reading. Nope. Okay, not the one. Oh, no, it is the one. Is it the... reading 1? Biculturalism in New Zealand, hopefully. No, okay. I think it was the previous week. Lecture 3 readings. It was the Eckermann reading. There we are. Alright, so in this Eckermann reading, we find... Oh, no, sorry. Biculturalism. Okay, so what I would say is, if you're trying to find a problem, look at the paradigms right here. So I would say avoid these paradigms. Oh, sorry, not these paradigms, because these paradigms don't help, right? These paradigms are policies that would help change the education sector, right? And these don't have to be things that would actually happen. These just have to be suggestions that you believe could help New Zealand students. So over here, the genetic paradigm, this is stuff like race, and these policies believe that genetic superiority is above all else, like racism. However, the cultural pluralism paradigm is about, acknowledging that cultures provide a lot to society. Like Maori have a lot of good ideas in both education and spiritual ways of seeing the world that aren't necessarily religious. And as we go to here, the anti-racist paradigm and the radical paradigm, this is stuff like we have to hold accountable the mistakes of the dominant culture, in this case, white people, or British white people. Now, what you choose, I would say just focus on these, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and choose a policy that you believe you could find through this and you could contact an official on. I would highly suggest contacting a politician, because politicians are always especially one from the Labour government, they're always very excited to work with students, because it adds to their sort of, not really popularity, but, it adds to their knowledge of Wellington, and it's their job to be knowledgeable of Wellington. So I'm going to link this in the description of the YouTube video. I highly suggest you don't need to read the whole thing, just seek to understand what these paradigms mean, and then try apply it to the work. So, you have to address the issues, right? You have to address the issue, you have to give a solution for it, and you have to evidence why the solution is not only a realistic solution, as in like it's attainable economically speaking, but it is also an evidenced solution, you know? So like it is humanly possible to do so. Now, outside of just using this, I would say also look at the marking criteria. And right here, it basically splits this up into two parts. So you have to have identified the issues correctly, and you would have to address the person correctly, and you would have to basically persuade the reader, right? So normally with essays, you are creating an informative piece, right? So I'm sure you've done essays in the past. Let's say I'm doing an essay on history. I am trying to inform my lecturer of what happened between 1938 and 1940s. However, in this essay, you have to persuade the reader, but you still have to maintain some level of academic integrity, right? You're not trying to accuse them of anything, you're just trying to change their mind. Alright, so I hope this has helped a little bit. Let me know if I can help any more. I'm just getting back into university, so I'm going to be catching up with some things, but I'll eagerly look at my emails and make sure that this helps. I hope you're having a great holiday, Khamman. See you next week. Or in a few weeks.